Okay, we've just concluded two very successful meetings. Firstly, I met with Chairman Zhao, the equivalent of our Speaker in the National People's Congress. That was an important meeting to discuss the bilateral relationship and to discuss future cooperation, including exchanges between representative groups between our two countries. We spoke about the importance of continuing to have dialogue, and it was a constructive discussion. We then met with President Xi. That was a very positive meeting following on from our engagement at the G20 in Bali last year. We recognised that that was the beginning of a discussion between us and one of goodwill. And it was a very much a discussion that could be characterised as just that, one of goodwill, one where we spoke about our common interests going forward and where we can, as I've said, cooperate where we can, but disagree where we must. And both of us certainly agreed that we shouldn't be defined by our differences, recognise that they are there, but also recognise the mutual benefit that we have. In my meeting as well, we spoke about trade and the economic relationships. It was fairly high level as well. We spoke about the global economy, about China's rise, and President Xi gave a positive perspective on what he saw as China's future growth as well, and the role that it would play not just in terms of economic development in China, but in the region. He also spoke about climate change and some of the shifts that will occur in the global economy and the role that China can play. We spoke about trade and welcomed the fact that we're returning to, as a result of the stabilisation of the relationship, returning to the exchange of trade that's been so important between our two countries. Just to give one figure, between January and August, Australia exported $6 billion of products that had been the subject of the impediments to our trade between exports to China, $6 billion. If we look at those products last year in the same period, it was $85 million. That shows essentially a $6 billion benefit in those months, which has grown since. That was before some of the changes that had occurred as well, the increased deals that have been done in barley and other products, the deals that are being done in wine as we speak at the moment in anticipation of the changes that will be made in wine. I noted very much that unimpeded trade was in the interests of both countries, was good for Chinese consumers as well as Australian exporters. We even had a bit of a debate about wine and the quality, and President Xi relayed that after one of his visits to Australia, he went to New Zealand and they were pitching up how good New Zealand wine was. But he certainly agreed that Australian wine is good, and I asserted Australia's preeminence when it comes to quality red wine, which is in particular demand here in China. I did discuss international issues with President Xi and the importance of stability in the region and open channels of communication. We also discussed our bilateral relationship. I raised consular and human rights issues during the meeting as well. I noted the importance of stabilising the bilateral relationship so that Australia and China can work together on shared challenges such as climate change, while addressing areas of disagreement. Communication is essential. It was a very positive meeting. President Xi relayed stories about his visits to Australia, including we had an exchange about, he spoke about the Tasmanian devils as being cute animals in Australia. I pointed out that whilst I like Tasmanian devils, they're probably not as cute as pandas. and I relayed the discussion I think we had at a press conference yesterday about pandas. Eric will be pleased. And he reminded us of the fact that not all pandas are cute by relaying the Kung Fu Panda story as well. And that, I guess, will give you, one of the anecdotes that could come from the meeting that shows really just how warm the exchange was. It was very positive. It was constructive. I invited President Xi to Australia at a mutually beneficial time to be agreed on. He invited me back to China at a future time as well. The meeting went for over an hour, which was longer than it was scheduled, and I think that reflects the very positive engagement that occurred.